Hello and welcome again to Steve's Long Stay Vintage Radio and Radio Workshop, where things stay if they've got to come because things have gone badly wrong with them or something like that. Today on the bench we have a tape recorder. Again, this is a Truvox. I'll take the lid off like that. Come on, off we come there, yeah. That go out the way over there, yeah. And this one is model number R44. It's a bit dirty, but we can soon sort that one out. It does sometimes work. Well, you know, that's okay. I think, if anything, it's just mucky. So anyway, there's noise coming out the speaker and it sounds as though it's doing something. And so always with these we start by taking the lid off with it unplugged. Thank you very much, Sindul. Okay, and we'll see what happens under here. You know, I bet this is nothing more than dirt, quite frankly, but you never know for sure, so yeah. Okay. It comes off, okay. And that comes off. And let's have a look inside and see what's going on here. It looks very much as though something has decided to give way somewhat. Rather badly, actually. Hopefully just braked, but we never know for sure. You know. But I bet most of the problems here are down to muck, quite frankly. I don't know what all this lot is here. It's probably, oh God, yeah, okay, fair enough. It's probably braked, but never know for sure. And this looks as though it's got a little bit bunged up here, which means that we might have a problem on our hands, but we'll see. I'll put it back in again. Okay, so that runs okay. Okay, so that doesn't, okay. It does that, but not a lot else, you know, so that's doing okay. That certainly isn't, is it? And this, it's the old problem with tape recorders. Look at my fingers. Look at that. It's the old issue with these, which is here. Yeah, okay, fair enough. That looks as though we need a new need a belt or something there, rubber there, so that's something. Really, if as long as it works on playback, I'm not, you know, as long as this lot is okay here, then I can probably say that the rest of it, if we can get it to work, then we don't have such a problem, But yeah. So also I'll yeah. It's one of these tape recorders. By the way, this is a Magnavox deck, just for the like that. Okay. So anyway, we'll have a look what we've got here. What horrible sort of work we've got here this week. This looks as though it could be something a bit nasty. Well, first of all, it needs a good clean and oil where oil is supposed to go. Don't put oil and grease where they're not supposed to go. It's not a good idea. I think something here which needs to be sorted out pretty quickly. That is well and truly macaroon. Look at that. I don't know which part of it here, but something there is gone. But it doesn't actually affect the playback, because if I switch it to play like that, you see, it goes like that on one of those three there. It's a standard arrangement actually, of the three different gauges there, one for each one. So that has to come off and be cleaned at least, if not, replaced. Obviously, like I said, it needs a good clean. Now the other side of it, if I turn it round like that and turn it over so we can see, there we are. That's the other side of it. It's all transistor 0271s actually, those. Okay, so the power supply on this is either 12 or 25 volts, somewhat like that. The motor, of course, it ran off the mains, but the rest of it is low voltage, which is okay. And that's really it, I didn't hear any loud buzz at switch on, so I assume that those capacitors there are going to be okay, although I will check them if need be. There are different versions of this actually. This version is the one with the two bridge rectifiers, which again, they might need to change in, they might not. I don't know at this stage with that. If it come round here, you see, like that. This thing's not light, but we do our best. Okay. If we look down here, it's these here. Okay. Those are the bridge rectifiers on this thing. The heads on it are 4-track. This is a 4-track machine, surprisingly. So that's something else to worry about. It's switched here on the front, like that. So the first thing we do is have a look round, like I said, and find out what's what and what goes where and what doesn't. That's the first thing. So before we go any further, I think we'll give it a bit of a clean. That's going to be the very first thing with this. I think it's safe to say that needs either work or replacement, don't you? Look at that, look at that. And also the cork on the motor here is also wanting to be sorted out as well. So that's the problem. Also, with stuff like this, that rubber literally turns to goo. I mean, it's all over. It's all over here. So on this one, I'll have to come out and be cleaned as well. The other side not so bad, but this side, yeah, exactly. So if you look here, you see, I just I just get it so you can see that there. You see, is absolutely that is absolutely filthy. You can see it there, absolutely filthy, and that has come from this and the here as well. So that screw needs to come out down there. So this can come off and be cleaned. This needs to come off and be cleaned as well. I might be able to do that in place. I don't know, but certainly it needs to be worked on rather more. I'll do both, by the way, so no problem there. So that needs to be changed as well. So most of the problem with this, like I said, are the deck, and the deck will be serviced before I put any more power through this thing. The electrics, I don't think there will be many problems, although I'll probably change a few capacitors on this board here. But if it's okay, I'll leave it. You know, LC71 don't cause too many problems, unlike their AF brothers. So yeah, this is probably going to be an interesting one. 2 days in acetone, and although that is mucky, it has got all the rubber stuff off. So now that is now going to be cleaned and put in the dishwasher. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get hold of a suitable size dry bottle pipe cleaner. I've used those before, and build that up again separately. Now it doesn't matter speed wise on this, because on this deck it does, in fact, all that does is register for the winds. Both winds goes through this, yeah. So if this goes dodgy, then all it does is make the winds not work. It also affects the take up on playback as well. So this one is important, but it's not that bad as regards speed. So like I said, I can build it up separately after I've cleaned it. Well, before I carry on with the mechanical repairs on this, I want to quickly check it electrically, make sure there's nothing bad on that side either. So on it goes, switch it to play here, and we should hear a noise. We do. We do. Okay, so we know therefore that is that head is doing something. So we know therefore that is okay. Now with that in mind, I'll start on more cleaning. First of all, the motor spindle here has got to come off, because something's come off that as well, which I'm also probably going to sort out with one of those pipe end things. And also, of course, here there's this to do as well. This is, it's very much like the Philips sets at the time. This it's the same problem exactly. This stuff is horrible, and already look at my hand, you see, straight away. It's not a job for the faint-hearted. This, so you know, I need to wash my hand again before tomorrow at least. So anyway, so now, so first thing got to do is get this off here, which is that screw there, and of course I think also clean that as well. So they're the next two stages. It's this here You see, absolutely disgusting. And of course, the spindle here as well. So we do those, and with the deck working, of course, we can sort out electrics that need to be done. That wouldn't come off, so I've got underneath and I've cleaned it that way. Also cleaned the motor as well, give it some oil. That I've cleaned as well. Yeah, that's clean as well. And also this side too is giving it clean. The whole lot is now clean. So now the thing to do now is to look at how to get it to go back together and get it to wind properly. If it does, which it will at the end of the day, because I'm like that, then it will. I will spend more time on the electrics. But for now, it is a lot cleaner than it was. I'm going to have to be soon. So yeah, it cleaned up quite well actually. First of all, I think it's now all this is naughty, and that stuff, by the way, this stuff, it gets absolutely everywhere. No wonder people don't like doing Philips recordings from the 70s, because this is common. It's all clean now. It's all working. It's all clean, but it's just so. So awful to get clean, you know. I've done it, so now of course it's putting it back together and hoping for the best. Hoping. This went in the dishwasher and got the rubber taken off it, and now I'm putting rubber back on it. I'm doing it actually with these pipe seal sets. You get them from any shop that does plumbing supplies and that sort of thing. And what they are, they're like small drive belts. This isn't one I'm going to use, but I'll show you. They're actually like that, very thicknesses, and it's exactly the same sort of rubber that is used on tape recorders, which is very, very handy. And it's very, very handy because you can therefore make up a rubber to go on a wheel like this. If you look at on the other side of it, you see there, you've now got again the rubber on the outside, you see, and with the rubber on the outside, the wheel will go back in, and hopefully it'll work. I've got some smaller ones as well for here, which I'll cut one in half and put it on and glue it the same sort of way, and hopefully then this lot will work again. And it's a lot cheaper than getting the wheel redone, because that costs money, and well, is it worth it, you know? And besides, it's more fun doing things yourself, your own way. And because this is now actually looking very good. I've got like the rubber back on it, which is what we want. So what I do, I get another one and put another one to cover that bit there, which is still not done. Let the whole thing dry off and put it back in the unit. Well, we're halfway there. This works okay, but this thing doesn't. And I got the thing in and working, but it worked for about a minute, and then part of it flew off. So back to the drawing board. What I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to look in the shed and try and find a drive belt or an idler of that size, or maybe slightly bigger, to go on there. And for this, I don't know. I really don't know. But there will be a way. We just got to find it. That's the way these things are. I've also got these, by the way, so in various sizes. So maybe one of those might do as well. I really don't know at this stage, but sometime soon I will. In the meantime, though, I'll take the pressure pads and also there's a little bit of hiss on there, so I'll check and see if that is a problem on playback. Now, when you're looking for noise on a board, first thing you do is make sure that things like the switch here are clean. I'm giving it spray, and of course I'm going to go back and forth with it to make it do them both. So like that. Okay, so that it goes like that. There should be a switch for it somewhere. I don't know where off the top of my head. I think it's one of these down here. But I'll, you know, I'll give it a good spray. Ah, okay, fine, okay. So I'll hold that like that. I'll get something to hold it like that. While I spray the other connections. That'll do. Okay, so again, spray again. This stuff, by the way, is a contact cleaner, so you can actually use it for such things. And already, actually, it's a lot cleaner as well, and a lot easier to operate. So that's in its favour. Okay. Back and forth a few times like that. Okay. And it seems to have gone straight away. I had a tape recorder Uber with one of these broken ones. That was an awful job, but there we go. These things do get to be. Yeah. That is a lot quieter than it was before, so I think we can say straight away that this board is probably going to be okay. That's, so straight away we've got that sorted, as we can tell. So always check the simple things first. The first fault finding. Always check the simple things. Use your eyes as well as your meter. Okay. Anyway, with that like that, we've got to go back now and sort out the winds and why they're not working. I would have a think about that overnight. Now, one thing that's very true about some tape recorders, and many things actually, is, well, there's more than one way to skin a rabbit, isn't there, or skin a cat, or whatever phrase you tend to use. I took that spins out and I put a belt on, and as you can hear there, it actually works. It's surprising, but it does actually work, that. So that obviously is going to be the way forward with this. As far as your wind is concerned, I get another belt and put that onto here. Okay, so there's two belts running off there, one to drive the rewind and one to drive the fast forward. It's not the best way to do it, but it's better than nothing. These decks, by the way, that one always seem to fail on these machines, and it's becoming a problem now. So this might be the way forward with them. Right, well, that won't come off again. By the way, what I did in the end, I got these from Hobbycraft, feet or something. I don't know what they are, but you take the back of them and put them onto metal, and they hold, and they're holding now on the pressure pads there. So now if I do that, it's sounding rather better. The only thing here is that unfortunately I do need to realign the heads and stuff, so that's something else which I've got to do. But I'm going to let it run for a bit and make sure that nothing else happens and that belt stays in one place. It should do. You might wonder how come I can actually put a belt on and make the unit play. Well, it's actually quite easy with this deck. You see, the motor or motors on any record deck do two things, three in a way. One is the speed control on the motor, which is varied of course, and also they operate the two spindles here and here, or tables, however you want to call them. Now then, here and here. Now then, on this deck, it goes to this here to there, and that controls the speed. So these are only really for holding for going back and forth, you know, and holding the tape and things like that. So as long as they don't snap the tape or anything like that, they're not too bad. So this wheel here is the one that gives way, and this one, and also on here there's something else which gave way. Now with those off, it will still play okay here through there, but not here. So the first thing I tried was redoing that, which failed rather well, so no thanks to that one again. So what else can we do? Well, first of all, if I go from there to underneath there with the belt, the thing will play. Let's do something with that. like I said, this thing will play. Now, if it'll play, then all we've got to do, therefore, is sort out at least a rewind. Fast forward, not so much, but certainly rewind. And so, therefore, if you kick another belt from there up to there or there, depending on, because you've got to be careful with this sort of thing, that when you press the button, it goes in the right direction. Otherwise, it can be fun in a sort of non-fun kind of a way. So there to under there, and that will work as well. And so basically, as long as that there is kept at constant speed, these aren't so important when you think about it honestly. And so if you get a situation where things start to fail like they did on this, look for other ways of doing it, and that is one. Very quickly, have a look at playback and record on this. I've done a quick test off camera. I do it off camera because I've only got one hand and I've got to control that and that at the same time, and the sight of me putting my nose near, big nose though it is, near a cassette deck or a reachable deck like that is not something I particularly want to share. I'm sorry about that. But what happened basically, I used the beginning of this tape because it was erased by that Italian thing. It recorded it, no trouble, sort of. I say sort of because it was distorted. When I went to play back, it was distorted. But at the same time, when I came to erase what it recorded, it didn't. Now, the playback on a tape recorder is pretty simple. Head, amp, speaker, boom boom, no problem. But when you record on a head, on a tape, you have to mix the audio from the microphone. Here, 1, 2, 3. You have to mix that with the source of high F audio as well. And if that's not there, the head thing doesn't work. And so what I'll do, I switch it on like that. Yeah. And switch it to 600 volts for frequency. It won't be that, but always stop on the highest one, you know, and see what and where. At the moment there's no. Okay, not to worry. Okay, 1, 2, 3. It is now in record mode. The speaker still makes exit signal off it, and the meter is recording here. So the mic on that side of it is okay. We know it is because it did record. So now I'm to check here and see what nothing. Nothing, and nothing. Try these 3 erase, you never know. Nothing. Okay, not to worry, so obviously that's not doing anything. So come down here now, and we'll check somewhere like, hang on, there. And that does now. Okay. This is just track control, by the way, so that's what that's doing. On the side here again, it's not doing a right lot, which says to me that there's no audio, and audio's okay, but there's no bias getting to the erase head. So yeah. Now it comes from a coil and TR1 here on the circuit. I'll just very quickly show you. There you are. And that is an oscillator circuit. Oscillator circuits are funny things because there's an old saying in this trade: amplifiers oscillate, oscillators don't. And it's true, actually, they don't sometimes, so you know. So I'll have a look round there and see what's going on. The transistor, I hope is probably okay, probably. But this coil here is the first thing I need to look at. If that is not working, then there won't be a lot to this head. So I'll check this coil here wherever it is on the circuit, and if that's faulty, then you know this thing is going to record until I get another one. So I'll put the thing up on its side, and we'll have a look and put that coil and find out where it is and such like. Here's the circuit of the radio in question, tape recorder in question, and power supply is here. It goes from here to speaker here, like that. Now, on plate, simple. Heads, preamp, amp, speaker, music or talk. That's it. Things are different on record. On record, the sound on the tape will be distorted unless it's put with a bias signal. Yeah, AC in this case. Okay. Now, the capacitor for that is here. Okay, this transistor here. Yeah. Now that particular transistor is an OC71Z. I don't know what the Z means. I'll find out if we need to on that. There is a modification for putting a silicon in, but this is all germanium stuff on here. Now, this is also a 4-track machine. But the principle is the same. Here is the oscillator circuit here, yeah, and it goes to the heads, which is there, okay, and it also goes up and mixes with the record signal to the microphone or radio, whatever, and records that on the tape as well there. So if this isn't working, it will still play fine, but it won't erase, obviously, and also it won't record properly because that is not there. Now in this particular case, if I look the other way, it's the system, the part is here. Okay, that's a new, that component isn't original because this tape recorder came from 1965, 66, and this is very much a 70s part. So something is has repaired before down here. I don't know what it is yet, but we'll find out sooner or later. But the first thing I'll do, first of all, I've put that in there to hold this onto record. Yeah. So it should now hopefully should record okay. I think. Let's make sure it does. And when it does, we hopefully we should get DC to about 24 volts is below, which I'll check, and also I'll go around it with the scope and look for the signal on the scope. The meter doesn't show it. On transistor sets, it will probably be lower. So I'll bring it on like that. Yeah. Switch on the meter. That goes to deck there. Okay. We'll just check that that's okay. It is okay. So now we go to 200 volts on this actually, but it doesn't matter, and see what we get on this transistor here. And we don't get a lot, do we? We don't get a lot, do we? It's there, so we know that that's okay, but it doesn't seem to be anywhere else, does it? Okay, well, at this point, if there's nothing at all on the transistor, then it won't work, will it? So I'll check that again and make sure I've gone to the right place and stuff, because that is important too. So glasses on, because I'm old. Yes, I was in the wrong place actually. 27.4 volts on the on there. Okay, this goes down here. Now then, the base should have on it rather less. Don't know which one is the base on this actually, but we'll find out. So does help. Right, so if we now go onto there, nothing. Okay, take it down a peg and try again. And there's nothing. And also, I think the base 0.2 volts. Okay, well 0.2 volts there. Okay, now the diagram puts that at 0.1, so it's okay, but it's 0.45 as well. So something this transistor is not doing, is not, as far as I can tell, doing anything. .26, okay, and that should on the circuit that should be about the same. I'll just check on the diagram on here. I don't have a list of the list of voltages for the apart from the ones on here. So yeah, okay, right, okay. So we'll 0.15, so that's higher than it should be if it's, or lower than, depending if it is an OC71 and not been changed with something else, which it might have been, I don't know. But anyway, if we go and look at the details on the circuit, that tells us that a load of parts get cut out, and that resistor is cut out, 1 or 2 depending on. Only one here, I think, because there's only one. I don't know about that one. Doesn't seem to be another one anyway, so we'll see about that. But 2 if okay, but they come out. R52 is removed. That's in actually, I think. C36 is out. Short circuit R18 and set values T32 and connect to 50 because between points. Okay. It doesn't say which way around the 2S1002 goes actually. Again, if you need me, I'll look and I'll find out how that works. So I'll get my scope actually, and we'll see if there is anything there first. After going to AC, which is here, and there's nothing. It says there's absolutely nothing coming off this. Oh, there's something there. Ah, is that? Oh, there is for a second. I'll get the scope on it, just to be sure. I'll get the scope on it. Well, the good honest bias signal on the transistor, and also on here, on that side. That's the goes to deck, but on that side there's plenty. Okay. Well, that's there. By the way, I stood that up because it was leaning on the board, and I wondered if maybe it is leaning on something it should. And now with this, the bias gets to both heads. There was a capacitor down here which had been fitted by somebody else, and it was leaning, it was shorting out 2 tracks, and that was trimmed oscillator. With the oscillator running now, it should be okay on record. But now let's have another look at this this problem with the wire, because you know I really want to try and get that sorted if I can. I wonder what would happen if I put a larger belt on, which covered both of these, or covered that and that maybe, and see if that would do it. You see, it has to go through here, or be swapped over to go around here, and that is because that and that's belted together like this will go in the same direction, and for relay I want it to go the other way. So what we need to do now is find a belt that will do both, and try that. I put this one, I got this off Andy, I put this one on, and but let's just say it didn't do very much, so you know, I'll put it back on again just to see. And if we put it on like that now, like that, and it's really not doing what it should. So the idea of putting 2 belts around here is not a good one. I might use that for the counter anyway, but let's just say I put another belt from a belt that goes there, under there and there, and see what happens. That might do it. With the bias going up to both sets of heads now, and the heads realigned and these slightly adjusted, we now have which is rather nice, isn't it? Anyway, now we've got to take this thing off and put this tape on, which did have shake on but doesn't now. And well, I know that there's stuff on this, so with this on I can in fact check the erase on both tracks, which is the next trick. And then of course if that works okay, I'll find a microphone that works. I'm not sure about that one. With this being transistorized, I can switch it to record off camera, and then as soon as I hit it, off it goes. Like that, you see. Or like that. So if we now leave that for a minute to see if it erases that tape, it should, but if it doesn't, it's got to be the head, because everything else is okay. So we'll go back a bit like that. Oh dear. That suggests it's the head, the erased head. So this machine is not going to record until I can get another head for it. So now all I've got to do is sort out the rewind. Like I said, I'm going to play with that, and once that's done, I'll put this thing back together and wait for a head. Basically, it's a fairly common head, so it won't take long for it to pick one up, like, you know. But these things happen. Actually, from this era, I think probably the ones on the BSR decks will do perfectly well. As far as head changing is concerned, generally speaking, the textbooks say it can't be done. You know, the head and the recorder are the same. But having said that, there is quite a bit of leeway here. So in a lot of cases, yes, you can. So if you get, say, Benel with a head open circuit, you can put something else in. Anyway, that's another story for another video. Anyway, I'll have a look and find out the best way to get the rewind to work. It doesn't rewind, but it does play. That did play. There you are. And of course we fast forward. As you see there. Okay. But as far as rewind is concerned, it doesn't really want to know. But that's as far as we'll get with it that way. I'll leave the majority of the bits still in here, actually in place, so that if a wheel does come available for it, I can put it straight in a drive bell set, and then it should actually operate. But for now, I might have another look at the rewind issue after I've checked the heads again to make sure that they are okay. And then that really is it for this, you know. I might well be coming back to this at some stage, because Andy suggested something which I want to try on this, and also, and I've left the rewind thing inside for this, because I might be using it to make the rewind go, and also I've got to find a head for it as well. So it is working, don't get me wrong. There you are, as proof. And that pop was well, by the way. But there you are, it does work now. So I will come back to this one, but for now I'm going to leave it, and we'll go back to it. Come back to it in a later date. This machine, by the way, was not Truvox's best. They're not too bad, but it's not one of the best machines. The deck is a Magnavox 363, by the way, for our American friends, but it's got the problem with the Philips sets. It's working for now, but I will come back to it in the near future, and that's a promise to this and to you. So until next time, goodbye, take care, and I'll see you again soon here at Steve's Repair Vintage Radio or Vintage Electronics Long Stay Repair Workshop. Until then, take care and look after yourselves, and be faithful to your God, whoever she or he is. Take care. Bye bye.